healers. Welcome back. It's Sarah, your host and creator of UnQuiet Healing. I am so glad you're here with me today. This is a totally different direction than I thought I was going to go for episode 3, but I guess I'll explain why. Before I hit record today, I had to laugh because if you knew the road it's taken me to get here, you'd probably laugh too. The night before I debuted my very first published episode of UnQuiet Healing on Spotify, I was attacked by a dog. Yes, attacked by a dog. The night before I was going to film my very first video episode and expand and get on YouTube, I was swarmed by bees. Not one bee, not 2 bees, but several freaking death-mongering bees. And that one there landed me in the hospital. Progressive care unit. It doesn't sound glamorous. IVs. My body went into this crazy histamine response. Severe vomiting. I'm just going to say it. Diarrhea, passing out, blood pressure so low, I scared myself. And all of this just as I was trying to step out, use my voice, and be seen in a bigger way. And you know what? That's just when it hit me. These things aren't accidents. I've never been one to believe in coincidences. These things aren't just bad timing. These are roadblocks. And roadblocks show up the moment you start walking in your purpose. Now, the old me, the me from a few years ago, hell, even a few months ago, she would have taken this as a sign to quit and shrink back and say, well, I guess the timing just isn't right, and I guess I'm not ready. I guess the universe is telling me to just stay quiet. But that's not me anymore. Here's the thing. Roadblocks don't mean stop. Roadblocks mean detour. Roadblocks mean keep moving, just find another way. So, no, I don't have the perfect polished YouTube video for you this week. No, I didn't sit in front of the lights or put on some jewelry or hit that big record button on my camera. What I have instead is me, raw, still recovering, still processing, but refusing to stay silent. And honestly, I'm just so proud of that. I'm proud of my first 2 episodes, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I can hear the mistakes. I can hear me mispronouncing things because I'm not quite comfortable in front of a microphone yet. I can hear audio mistakes that make me cringe. But you know what else I hear? I'm hearing progress. And progress matters more than perfection. Because if this is really UnQuiet healing, and it is, then that means dog bites, bee stings, hospital stays, they don't get to shut me up. I've survived worse. I had someone who was supposed to protect me, my own family member, my own partner, try to destroy me. If they couldn't erase me, do you think a swarm of bees will? Not a fucking chance. So, it gave me some pause, and it's like, okay, I am seeing a clear old you and new you, Sarah. The old me, it looked lazy and like not productive or creative, but it really was perfectionism. It was fear, and it was retreating. I spoke in episode 2 about how I was diagnosed later in life with ADHD, and I'm really noticing that my inability to try new things or put myself out there or be vulnerable is because I have an issue with perfection, with being a perfectionist. And it's like, wait, the perfectionist that I know of, or That label perfectionist usually goes to the overachiever, the perfect grades, the perfect looks, the excelling in all things. But for me, it like freezes me in my tracks. I remember saying as a kid, like, if I don't think I'm going to be good at it, or if I'm not good at it, I'm not going to do it. It's odd, but I mean, it clearly is me finding words to the way my brain works before I even knew why it worked the way that it did. But it was fear. It was retreating. It's like, no, I'm just going to hang here and not do that thing. Or when things got really bad, I had a really big roadblock or struggle in life, and I can't remember how many times I said out loud to people or a therapist, like, if I could just find a cave to crawl into and die, I would be so happy. That's the old me, where I love to isolate, I love to be alone, and a really private, cool cave sounds lovely. I don't want to go there and die anymore. I'd rather go there, recharge, and then pivot, you know? The new me shows progress, it shows growth, and it shows I am hella resilient. I show up now when I struggle to do so, when my insecurities are so loud, it's like deafening. It's hard for me to walk into a room at times with how I feel about myself, or the way I look, or the negative internal dialogue that I've kind of had my whole life, and now I'm really looking at it with curiosity so I can change it. I show up now, and I show up for myself, instead of saying, "Oh, this is an omen," or "the universe is telling me this is not my path," or, "I'm just not good enough. I'm not as professional. I don't have the money or team or equipment to put something out there like this." Oh, you know what? Go to hell with those things. Okay. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. If I feel passionate, if I have a goal, I show up. If it doesn't pan out how I thought it was going to pan out, I don't feel shame about it. It's like, okay, how do I pivot? How do I turn? How do I keep moving and not stop? And that just turns into me recognizing, what's a roadblock and what's a detour. When do you need to stop, maybe head back home, and then find another way another day? When do you need to find that roadblock and immediately recognize a detour, trust your intuition, and go? Roadblocks can be major things: major trauma, betrayal, abuse, a breakup, medical issues, a divorce. It could be so many things. A detour is kind of like in my example, it's I've got to go back onto audio instead of pursuing visual. I'm going to be delayed in, I guess, my published work. It feels more like a little bit of a setback. And I'm recognizing that one means stop, the other means to reroute, to detour, to find another way. And I guess what's best is that we all learn to tell the difference. So if you're listening to this, I just want to ask, what are your bee stings, your dog bites, the things that showed up right when you were about to take a step forward? And most Christians would say, oh, it's the enemy. You're walking in your purpose. The enemy's going to try to stop you. What are those things that have shown up in your life? We've all been through things like that. But I guess my encouragement to myself and to anybody listening is Don't confuse the bee sting for a stop sign. It's just a detour. So, I guess that's why I showed up here today, even if it's not perfect, even if my body is still recovering. I'm literally sitting up in my bed recording this because every sting, every bite, every block, it doesn't get to silence me. It actually fuels me. And I want the same for anyone that feels like they get stopped in their tracks by life and by tough stuff. Whatever bites and stings you faced, whatever roadblocks life has thrown in your way, they don't get the final say. You still have a voice. You still have another route. UnQuiet healing is about choosing the detour instead of retreating. It's about raising your voice when everything tries to shut you up. And you know what? I am not done talking. And neither are you. So grab my hand. Come with me. Let's embody that UnQuiet healing and what it's supposed to be. It's not clean. It's not polished. It's not perfect, but it's alive, it's loud, and it's unstoppable. We see examples of perfect, pretty people every day in our social media. It's like, I can't tell you how many beautiful people I have seen break down and have these traumatic responses that they recorded and then posted. And the makeup's perfect and the hair is amazing and that body is right and tight. It's like, I know I didn't look like that when I was passing out and hitting the bathroom floor. Like, that was not the time to set up my camera and hit record. And it's still not time for me to do that. I have a few more things to work out. I have to get a little bit healthier and then pivot into what my episode 4 might be. How many times have you gone up for a date, a job, a promotion, and you saw it play out perfectly in your mind? You're like, oh my God, I got this. I got this. And you're walking on high and you're like ready to tackle whatever it is you're trying to do. And it just doesn't pan out that way. It can be devastating. And it's okay to hit that roadblock and roll your eyes. It's okay to hit that roadblock and cry. Lord knows I cry so much, I even schedule a cry every Tuesday just for the hell of it. But you hit that roadblock, let yourself feel it, and then turn your wheel as sharp as you have to and keep it moving. I am so glad that you are here with me today. It's just another step in real conversations that I don't see anywhere else. All I see is polished, perfect, edited work that doesn't seem genuine. So, screw the bee stings, cry when you get bit by that dog, but see and recognize that detour. Find it. Trust your intuition. Keep moving. Please send me a comment, a message. I would love to hear about your experience with this type of thing. I know I'm not alone. And I know I've needed encouragement not to stop. So if you need your sign to keep moving and keep going where you feel like your passion is leading you, here's your sign. You're welcome. Enjoy. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm off to rest a little bit more, and I'll see you next time on Unquiet Healing. And who knows, you might actually get to visibly see me too. Until next time. Unquiet Healing is a podcast where I share my personal experiences and opinions. I am not a doctor, therapist, or licensed professional, and nothing you hear on the show should replace medical advice or professional care. If you're struggling with domestic violence, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. If you or someone you love is battling addiction, you can call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration helpline at 1-800-622-HELP. And if you're experiencing a mental health crisis, please dial 988 in the U.S. to connect with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You don't have to go through this alone. Help is available.